Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Tuesday, March 5th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Akron game is in 179 days. The game against Michigan in 270 days. All right, we're just going to start the show. I'm going to address the elephant in the room, or I guess the elephant outside, which is, it's 70 degrees. I am sitting at an ice rink right now where one of my kids is skating, and it is too loud to record the show inside, and so we're just going to do it outside. It's 70 degrees. It's March 4th. It's fine. It's fine. Something else that's fine. Ohio State spring football officially starts on Tuesday. Finally, your long national nightmare of, 2 months or so where pretty much everything went right for Ohio State. Well, that nightmare is over. Now Ohio State football is finally back on the field on Tuesday. And Tony Gerdeman is back on the morning show to talk all about it. We actually got a little bit of a sneak preview, Tony, of spring ball. Not normally something we get, but we got kind of a bunch of interviews on Monday to sort of preview spring ball. And today, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to talk about the quarterbacks. That's always, everyone's biggest topic they want to hear about. So we're going to start right there. Let's start with the first quarterback that we're going to discuss, the newest quarterback on the roster, at least of the veteran quarterbacks. That would be Will Howard. What did you learn from Will Howard one day before the start of spring ball?
Well, this was actually our second time getting to talk to him because we got to talk to the transfers a month or so ago. And I think what we learned from him is that this is not his first rodeo. In fact, as a total aside, he actually took some teammates and him went to the rodeo recently. But he said he's not timid at all or nervous about what is about to take place because he's prepared for it. He is, he's an experienced guy. And one of the things he said was, I'm not going to be timid. I'm not going to be nervous, especially for spring ball. And as we've talked about in the past, you can't win the job in spring, but you could lose it. He certainly seems confident enough, says he has most of the offense down. So I think that's a big bonus as well. I'm sure he's been doing some nonstop studying of the playbook as it progresses as well, but he seems pretty confident in what he's doing, what he's had to do. Nothing seems too big for him to this point.
Well, and that's good. I mean, you're kind of doing your intro level courses during January and February and trying to get yourself up to speed. And, if he comes into spring more or less up to speed, you would figure one of the big advantages Devon Brown would have coming into the spring has been in this Ryan Day offense for a couple of years, would seemingly have a pretty big advantage over Will Howard. If Will Howard can kind of close the gap on that front coming into the spring, that might change some of the dynamics in terms of how that race for the starting quarterback job is going to play out this spring. So now let's talk about Devin Brown. Devin Brown, obviously, there's been a ton of talk about Devin Brown. Oh, he's right on the verge of entering the transfer portal any day now. It's, it feels like you've kind of heard that from a lot of people. He had the burn the boats thing before the Cotton Bowl. So that obviously strongly suggests, no, he's not going to transfer. And Devin Brown was asked, his thoughts on people who think he's going to transfer and had, a pretty, let's call it a pointed answer.
Yeah, there was a pointed part to it where he said they don't know blank. They don't know crap, and said a lot of that stuff comes from people in their basements and their mom's basements. And so he went that whole route, but also said when he decided on Ohio State, he didn't care who was at Ohio State in terms of who was in the quarterback room, and he still doesn't care. And this is a job that he wants to win, and he's going to do whatever he can to win it. And it doesn't matter who's in. And, Ryan Day told all of the quarterbacks before he brought in both of the quarterbacks before he brought in Will Howard that we just need depth. We're going to bring in another guy. And obviously the job is going to be open as everybody knew it would be. And it's not something that seems to have bothered Devin Brown to this point. And so when he throws out that comment, I tweeted that out and I got some people saying that you got some Tate Martell vibes from the don't swing twice, don't miss twice type of thing. And now when you say something like that, when Devin Brown comes out and says, they don't know crap, now you have to kind of back that up or live that. And it doesn't seem like he has any problem doing that. That doesn't faze him at all. And there's definitely a sharpness to him that I think is not bad for a quarterback to have, especially in a competition. Whether you win it or you don't, you want somebody that kind of has that edge.
It doesn't feel like the Ohio State quarterback position is one you're going to win by playing it safe and just, just don't make a mistake. And that's not how this is going to probably get decided. Yeah, they don't want you to throw interceptions, but they also want you to go out and see what you can do and not just be captain check down. And if you're going to come out swinging, like if you're going to go down swinging. And if you're going to win the job swinging. It feels like that might be how that plays out this spring. And we'll see how that all happens. We'll get our first look at where they stand and what those two guys look like next to each other on Tuesday morning. Cannot wait. We'll be there for practice. That'll be a lot of fun. We will also get a chance to see Lincoln Kienholz for the first time since the Cotton Bowl. He talked on Monday. You said your big observation on Lincoln Kienholz is, it's only been 2 months and a few days since the Cotton Bowl, but I mean, it sounds like he has, started to, he has made the most of his time with Coach Mick over those 2 months or so.
Yeah, I think I'm looking through my notebook right now, and the the first note on the top of my page is he looks bigger. And the first question that he got when he sat down was like, "Are you Lincoln? Are you taller and heavier than you were the last time we saw you?" Because he definitely looks filled out. And this, if you look at the roster as of Monday, which is the old roster, he was 6'2", 195, and he said he's put on about 7 pounds of muscle. He looks more solid. He does not look like a high schooler anymore. And that's part of the process of getting ready for the competition, to be able to withstand whatever is coming your way, and knowing that you have to be prepared because you might be called upon at any moment, just as he was last year. And he'll be more prepared now, obviously. But it was interesting to talk to him, because now anytime you talk to a quarterback who may not be the starter, it's like, so have you thought about transferring yet? And he's going into this with the mindset of, I'm going to compete for the job, but also, hey, everybody, I'm a redshirt freshman. There are guys, it takes time. We're 18, 19 years old. It takes time to develop. So if it doesn't happen for me this year, there's next year. And it's really refreshing. I don't know that you've got somebody who has patience, but is not being patient in terms of vying for the job. But he realizes the best guy is going to play. And I know I still have a much higher trajectory than I am right now. And I think one of his comments was that he's going to trust. He trusts Ryan Day, Coach Day's plan for him, his philosophy for him. So if he's not ready yet, and he's going to give it everything he has to get there, but he knows that he is not a finished product, and nobody should be a finished product as a redshirt freshman.
Right. It's hard to be a finished product when you are just about to take the field for your very first spring practice ever. That is not typically a point when you are talking about guys as finished products. He's going to be trusting in Ryan Day this year. He's also going to be trusting in the new offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. All three quarterbacks were asked about the Chip Kelly difference, and what is life going to be like with Chip Kelly, and what has it been like working with him so far? So, what is the kind of the early word on working with Chip Kelly as a quarterback at Ohio State?
One of the interesting things is Devin Brown has said, he told a story about how he mentioned he was sitting in the office with Chip Kelly and Justin Fry. He's like, he recounted the time that they were in his living room, basically, those two recruiting him to UCLA. And obviously he chose Ohio State, chose USC at the time, then Ohio State. And so he's got the familiarity there with them. I think Will Howard said he's very down to earth. His offense is very quarterback friendly. It's not asking you to do too much. It plays into your strengths. So I think that's kind of music to Buckeye fans' ears when they're talking about quarterback friendly offense. That's what Ryan Day has been. Sometimes it's a little complicated for some quarterbacks. Maybe this is a nice marriage between the two. Of course, Lincoln Kienholz, a younger guy who, when you hear the name Chip Kelly, and it still resonates. And so everybody's been speaking really, really well of him. Obviously, you would expect them to. I would not expect Lincoln Kienholz or anybody to be like, it's just not working for me. So we're going to have to do something about that. But he is, obviously they're communicating now. It has been interesting that I think all of the quarterbacks said that Ryan Day told him, I'm going to be stepping back from the quarterbacks now. And so it is a different quarterback room, and it is a different meeting room, because you no longer have Ryan Day. You no longer have Todd Fitch, who left for LSU. And of course, Corey Dennis is gone. So this is Chip Kelly's room. And so it's a new relationship for all of these guys, and it's a new process of how they're doing things. So in that sense, it's almost put everybody kind of on the same footing in terms of how they learned from Chip Kelly. And it'll be interesting to follow this spring for sure.
And I did want to ask you just about Todd Fitch, because I think that's a name that if you just told the average Ohio State fan on the street, or just, we're talking to someone at the water cooler tomorrow and said, hey, what do you think about Todd Fitch? You'd probably get a lot of blank looks and blank stares. But that's someone who was a pretty significant part of that quarterback room the last couple of years. Did anyone have anything to say about him leaving for LSU? He kind of took a similar role with LSU. He's been a real part of some of the quarterback development that's happened there.
Yeah, and when I was around the quarterbacks just floating back and forth, didn't hear necessarily anybody talking about the loss of Todd Fitch, but I think you only have to listen to CJ Stroud talk about his impact on Fitch's impact on him, that you get an idea of what he's meant to the quarterbacks. And now it is, he'll go off to LSU and do his thing there, but that's a role, the analyst, special advisor to the head coach type of thing, where you're not supposed to have any on-field coaching, but you can watch film, you can do things of that nature. But he has made them better quarterbacks, smarter quarterbacks, more aware of just technique and follow through and just whatever their job is at that moment. And so you do still have to fill that. I think you're going to, like, who is going to be Chip Kelly's assistant, the assistant to the assistant type of thing, because they'll have to get somebody, I would assume, because there's so much change going on right now. And maybe that'll be something we talk to Chip today about as well.
Well, that is one thing to look forward to. We also have our first look at the 2024 Ohio State football team. That'll be coming bright and early Tuesday morning. We're supposed to get in there about 8:45. We'll no tweeting from practice, Tony. That's the rule. We talked about that on yesterday's show. But have that to look forward to. Can't wait. Get our first look at the new rosters, the new heights, the new weights, the new jersey numbers, all the freshmen showing up, all that fun stuff. The new Ohio State, it's kind of the official turn the page, turn the calendar to the next year. That's always a really fun morning. We will be there, and we'll get some interviews afterwards. We may, I don't know, we'll see if we can do a live show or some kind of post-event show of some kind. We'll try and figure it out. It's spring ball for us, too. We're figuring out. It's the first day of spring ball. We'll get there. But you can find us all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. Whatever we're doing, we'll be doing it there. Tony, Kevin, and I covering the team. Mark has been down in Florida, just got back from Florida. Really, really great information, great video from some really top prospects down there. Good stuff from him. You can find that on the huddle board at BuckeyeHuddle.com. And, of course, our team of X's and O's guys, X's and O's gurus, making you a smarter football fan, all on the huddle board, presented by Jeff Ruby Steakhouse, all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. We hope to see you there. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.